And they carried on a great and severe battle against Israel. And the Lord delivered Amalek and his people into the hands of Moses and the children of Israel, and into the hand of Joshua, the son of Nun, the Ephrathite, the servant of Moses. And the children of Israel smote Amalek and his people at the edge of the sword. But the battle was very sore upon the children of Israel. And the Most High said to Moses, write this thing for as a memorial for thee in a book.
So the Most High told Moses, we need you to write this thing I'm about to tell you here for a memorial in this book. That means we can never forget what the Most High gave Moses here. Read the memorial.
And place it in the hand of Joshua, the son of Nun.
And make sure you pass this down to Joshua. Go ahead.
Thy servant. And thou shalt command the children of Israel, saying, when thou shalt come to the land of Canaan, thou shalt utterly efface the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
Read it again.
Thou shalt utterly efface the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
He told Moses, when Joshua go out there to fight to get that land, make sure there's not one left of Amalek. Now, mind you, Amalek eventually escaped, and the Most High put that sanction on on Saul to go against Amalek. And Saul left one living. So when you see these battles and say, well, in the Old Testament, it's all bloody. That guy, no, he understood that the Spirit was on Esau's children to destroy his people. That's what those wars are about. Amalek and Zepho was non-stop. They was trying to exterminate Israel in the Old Testament. They eventually infiltrated the Sanhedrin about 100 years before Christ came on the scene, and Herod was there, an Idumean, linked with the tribe of Dan, an Idumean in place to kill Christ. So they lurked their way all the way into Israel, even before the Khazar Empire. But that's history we're going to go into a little later. At a later date. Read.
Verse 57. And Moses did so, and he took the book and wrote upon it these words, saying, remember what Amalek has done to thee in the road when thou wentest forth from Egypt.
Now this is what they did against us when we came out of Egypt. Read.
Verse 59. Who met thee in the road and smote thy rear, even those that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary.
So what they did was they would come behind the band. They knew the men was fighting up front. So Amalek would go in the back of the camp and slay the women, children, and elderly. So the Most High says, write this as a memorial, that we need these guys off the planet. We need them gone. Read.
Verse 60. Therefore it shall be when the Most High thy power shall have given thee rest from all thy enemies round about in the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee for an inheritance, to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
The Lord says to do what? To blot out the what?
Thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
So the Most High told Moses that make sure we make a memorial to blot out the remembrance of Amalek from the earth, period. No more remembrance of them. Because what they was doing to us coming out of Egypt. So the curses is really against them. Not all the families was doing that. Amalek was a family that was coming behind the band and destroying the children of Israel, keeping the promise of his father Esau alive. Till this day, that's what he do. Infiltrate and destroy. Infiltrate and destroy. He's behind the sorcery when it comes to medicine out there. The vaccinations and all that, the eugenics program, Bill Gates and all of them. They're just doing it nice and smooth now, but nonetheless, they're still doing it. They're financing all the wars that are killing the people. Read on.
Verse 61. And the king who shall have pity on Amalek, or upon his memory, or upon his seed, behold, I will require it of him, and I will cut him off from amongst his people.
And that's what happened to Saul. He says, the king that forget this memorial that's set up, the king that forget this, I'm going to remember him and cut him off from being king, from my people. He says, listen, every king must remember Amalek. We don't want Amalek around. So you would never guess what king is going to fulfill this God's promise. Yes, Christ. Christ will fulfill this promise. He's the king that will come back and do what our kings could not do in the past. Now we understand why Amalek is adamant with this depopulation program. Talking about this global warming and all this other stuff as a pretext to destroy people. He understands that when the king come back, he will be totally blotted out. Now the other tribes of Esau will be in the kingdom to serve. But Amalek, there will not be one left. The Most High don't want one of them that are following the ways of Esau in the kingdom. Period. If you are following the Judaism doctrine and you are behind Israel, the Most High want no existence of these people in his kingdom. They're the people that took Israel by force. They're the people that are against the children of Israel and claiming to be Israel. If you believe and you are behind that doctrine, you are against the God of the Bible. What verse you left off at?
62.
I need you to stop there, and I need you to go to Numbers 24 and 20.
Numbers chapter 24 verse 20.
No, that's the same story in the book of Jasher. We don't have to regurgitate that. Let's go to
This is the prophecy of the 9.
yeah.
Saying that they will perish forever. Like this is the prophecy
Yeah.
done in the end days.
That's in Numbers 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it. Numbers 24, and let's start at 21. 20, yeah.
Numbers chapter 24 verse 20.
Still dealing with Amalek, which are the Jewish people today. Read.
And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he shall perish forever.
What do it mean, the first of the nations? Because we know that Amalek is from Esau. There was nations of Gentiles before he came here. When he says he's first of the nations, they are the family of Esau that are over all the nations of the earth. They're the people that established the UN. They are the people that established the UN. They're over all the nations of the earth. They paid for the UN building to be built. They are the first of all the nations. That means the Jewish people, or Amalek, is leading all the nations in the earth. Through what? Money. Money. Everyone is compromising with these guys. It's not like they want to be down with them, but if you don't believe in his ideologies, he cut you off. He cut you off. So he's controlling through the finances. Read it again.
Numbers chapter 24 verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations.
He was the first of the nations. That means he's over all the Gentiles. Read.
But his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
For how long?
Forever.
There will be not one left of the seed of Amalek. Not one. Why? Because there's something in them to continue that fight against Jacob. And he will eventually fight against Christ. It's that same family, the Rothschilds and their financial system, that is bankrolling the Sawtooth Vertical Trap and the space weapons program that's out in space right now, looking to fight against Christ. The same people. Read that last verse again.
Numbers chapter 24 verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations.
He was the first of the nations, read.
But his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
That he shall perish forever. Now I'm going to this because some people go into the book of Obadiah when it says the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. The mount means the peak or the top of the Edomites. The people that are leading the Edomites. It's talking about Amalek being destroyed forever. That's why the Most High put in the Old Testament, he put there a memorial to destroy and make sure there's nothing left of Amalek. Amalek